Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another Hatter Show. And that is the new intro. Shout out to Sam Harrison again. Obviously, I've been on his channel twice now. First time to do a quiz about Luton, and the second time was for Premier League predictions for the first game week. And he's very good when it comes to that side of things at YouTube. So he kindly offered to make a new one for the Hatter Show. Obviously, I was in need of one. Obviously, I did make one, but we'll change it up a little bit more. And I'll show it again to the people that missed it at the end. And also, you didn't quite see the bit at the start as well. So instead of an outro, we'll have that today, if I don't forget. But obviously, we're back again. Obviously, for another Hatter Show, of course. Obviously, we're here to talk about the Fulham game. Unfortunately, it was another defeat. But there is positives to take, and we will get into it, of course. But like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, all good, mate. Hope you're all cool. Hope we're all cool.
Yep, no, absolutely. Same goes to you. But obviously, let's get straight into it. So, obviously, you played Fulham, like we always do, when it's the 3 o'clock games or games that are obviously not on, proper TV. Obviously, we watch it together, and obviously this was another one. And, going into it, obviously we was confident there'd be a close game, both of us. Obviously, I said 2-1 to them. I thought, with their home record, we would. With their home record, they concede. So I thought maybe we would, get a goal. They concede quite a lot at home. Obviously, when we, done the build up to this game, I mentioned that. And obviously, you said 1-1. And, so we both said a tight game. But obviously, the lineup, there was a few players dropped, which we did like to see, and we felt it needed to happen. So Kaminsky stayed in goal. And then it was Bell and Kabore as the wing-backs. Or maybe not the wing-backs, but, they were the ones out wide. Bell, obviously, in his natural position, which was obviously good to see. And fair play to him. I thought maybe he'd be rested for this game. Especially, he's been playing Jamaica 2 full 90 minutes as well. And he just ain't stopped. And Rob Edwards in the build-up as well was saying, he's going to assess him. So I thought maybe, he'd be on the bench. Kabore, we always thought he was going to start, especially for me. He didn't play the second game. He weren't even in the squad for Bukayo Fazo. So I thought maybe he would probably play. Makes sense as well, being out on loan. And then the back three was Anderson, Lockyer and Burke, which I think is exactly what we went with other than Menji. We thought maybe Menji would start. We've been crying out for a left centre-back even when we were doing so well in the playoffs. So we thought maybe, we'd just put him in. And then obviously the midfield was Chong, Nakamba and Lokonga. Obviously Chong the higher up one. And then obviously Nakamba and Lokonga more defensive. Obviously Lokonga's debut. And then obviously Morris and Brown up front. So it's good to see that change. Brown, I've been saying it for numerous amount of weeks now. He deserves to start. The par he's been pressuring up, he deserves to start for me. And Elijah's not quite been at it, which we have seen at times before. Obviously, we've seen it towards the start of last season as well. And Chio, we've seen him play up front, friendlies, but I thought because he's been out, an international break with Ireland, he would probably not start this one. And Brown obviously didn't get picked for Scotland. So, the way he's been piling up pressure as well, he would start. But overall, I was happy with it, to be honest. Looking at it the first time, yeah, it was all right. I wanted to see Menji start, but I get why we didn't at the same time because he hasn't actually quite played in the Premier League yet. He's played in Champions League, but obviously that can be different, depending on who you're playing. So, yeah, we're just slowly getting him in, I guess. But, yeah, I was happy other than that. Giles needed to be dropped for me. Elijah did. So I was happy. Your thoughts on that lineup, Dad?
Yeah, similar to you. I was glad that Bell started on the left, called that. It's interesting that Anderson can play in that position anyway, but I feel like before, because Lockie was injured in the previous game, and then Burke was just kind of coming back, that that's why. But now we can see that he can definitely play in that position. And then obviously later on, Bell moved into that position when we shuffled the pack and that. But yeah, that was decent. Kabore, he's getting better every game, so that's good. Midfield, as expected. Obviously, he was saying for Barkley, but Barkley was injured, so he didn't start. And yeah, the front two, Brown and Morris, is what we said as well. So yeah, happy with that. Bench was decent, and yeah, it was pretty much what I was thinking. I don't think the formation is quite what we said, but it was more like 5-5-3-1 or something, 5-4-1, sorry, something like that. Which I mentioned to you before, like we have to maybe just try and play one up front, and see what happens. I think. Well, we'll get into it, but yeah, I was happy with the thing, and you don't really see how it is, because obviously we get the formation that comes out from media sources, etc. But you don't actually see what it is until you're watching the game, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, even before kickoff, they can guesstimate, but the way they set out in the game is sometimes different. So yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. And reading out the bench quickly, it was Elijah, Berry, Doughty, Giles, Krul, Menji, Ruddock, Chio, and Woodrow. So good bench. Look at it. A lot of players that obviously started last season for us, massive for us, and obviously a few of the new signings that have impressed so far. Like Chio's, and yeah, that's it really, because Krul's only played one game. So, and Giles started off well, but obviously it's not been so great since the last couple of games. But yeah, let's go through some comments. Big up to Stephen. And by the way, I've pinned this. He started a YouTube channel, people. So make sure you check that one out. We was actually going to do a live stream to the Nottingham Forest game today, but didn't realise, even when I done it, it has to take 24 hours to process for your first live stream if you start a new channel, which is a bit gutting. But there will be one at some point. But yeah, subscribe in the meantime. Hanno says, hi guys, big up yourself. Stephen says, big up to you as well, Dad. So yeah, there we go with that. So yeah, there's all of that. Moving on to the first half of this game. First time this season, we went in at half time 0-0. And to be fair, referee was quite poor in this game. Usually I know the Premier League referees, or have at least seen them. This one, I didn't even know it was. Salisbury.
Sales.
I don't even know who he is. I've never seen him before, but I thought he was quite poor, to be honest. Some of the tackles they were getting away with. I thought Polinia, he should have been carded. He didn't get a card. That tackle on Lokonga was an absolute disgrace, looking back at it, to be honest. And we had good chances, in the first half. Obviously, Brown hit the post. I thought that was in. I was celebrating a bit too early. But yeah, we did have our chances. Chong had a chance. He took on the shot. You can't really blame him because there was not really any other options. And, you could tell what our plan was. And, I thought it was a decent half. It was just, we quite didn't manage to get that goal, unfortunately. And I thought there was a few sloppy passes in midfield, which was a bit frustrating because we have seen that a few times, misplaced passes and that sort of thing. But overall, it was better than what it has been, in the sense where it was 0-0 at half time. The first time we've done that this season and stuff like that, really. But what did you make of the half as a whole, first one?
Yeah, big improvement. But not big improvement, but like compared to our previous away performances, definitely. You can see the players are starting to gel. It was a clear tactic set out to defend and defend well, which we did do. The sloppy passes, that was Nkonga's first game, and that happened. We've seen it with other players. So, but other than that, I think he's going to be a lot quicker at picking up the effort with the team and gel with the team, and that. I think he's going to. He already was doing good bits as well. Other than that, So, and he's quite trusted as well. You can see he was on a few free kicks and stuff. He won us. He got shoved off of the ball when Castagna got a yellow card. So yeah, he's going to be a good signing for us, I feel. We were resilient, and you got to be. We gave away too much possession, but you see them things there. After time, when we realised properly what our strengths are, because let's be honest, our strengths are different from what there was in the Championship, and we found that out quickly. I wasn't presuming that we're going to play this direct, and we haven't been. Let's be honest, we haven't been. We've had one game at home where we was still a bit cagey, because I feel a bit of that's because of West Ham's form. But I think, obviously, we're not getting into it tonight, but against Wolves is going to be how we were in the Championship more. But it's interesting. But we're still adapting, but the half-time performance was decent, and potentially we should have definitely probably been 1-0 up. Morris should have scored. But it's that opportunity, them opportunities we're creating. That's key. As long as you're creating them opportunities and keep doing that, eventually it's turn once again. They're snatching the chances a little bit. Not Brown. Brown's chance was just unlucky. It would have been a brilliant header. Well, it was a brilliant header. It was just the keeper was beaten. The slight shout for a penalty half time, I think, just before half time. The thing is, you can argue with it, but for me, the ball wasn't there going to in that space, and if it was given the other way around, we'd have probably been fuming about that. So it's one of them. I think it's kind of like, you're not going to get it. You didn't get them in the Championship. And I'm saying it's different. There's VAR and that, but you're finding out they don't check every single instant on VAR. And it's not just us. It seems that, like the handball incident in the second half, what was it getting to? But and that, the penalty potential penalty against West Ham and things like that. But then you've got to watch other games as well to see the same stuff is going on. So, that's the problem with it. And yeah, maybe it is easier for them to go on now. We won't check it because it's Luton or whatever. I don't know. You have to see that over the course of the season, but you do see it in other games. Like Arsenal's first goal, it's offside and that didn't look. I don't know. You can question a lot of these decisions, and that's the problem. And that's why you prefer it in the Championship. Yeah, you say that was blatant, but then you get over it quicker because it's just how it is. And I guess you've got to kind of have that mentality with this VAR as well. I don't expect it, and it's new for our team as well. So I can see why Rob Edwards and Lockyer are going on about it. But for me, because the ball is not going in. It's not like he's cut close to the ball. If the ball was coming towards his feet, definitely that would have been a penalty, 100%. But because he was nowhere near it, that's the way they look at it. So, I mean, they'll see it's a coming together. They're not even going to bother with that, and that's the way it is. But yeah, overall, the first half form, and clean sheet at half time, we haven't achieved that yet. Even though in the other games it was 1-0 each time, which still ain't that bad. But still an improvement on there, and then you take these little steps, and that was one. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm the same as you on the penalty. Like I say, it's not really near him. It's not really going in his direction. So I agree with that as well. But yeah, that was How's that? We got a few, yellow cards I didn't really agree with in the first half. The Kaminsky one was a joke.
Yeah.
Why would he time waste from the 36th minute?
Yeah, that annoyed me because obviously the commentator, which was an ex-Luton player, the second Matthew Upson, who do you think has give us some respect? Yeah, he kind of launched his career and that. Yeah, was that tells a lot. That's a wrong attitude and that for time wasting and doing it. He wasn't time wasting from what I could see. He wasn't time wasting. They're just doing it. It's just if he is the Fulham fans going, oh come on, book him, they get that pressure, mate. You've seen it in other games, not just us. Sheffield United had a similar situation. You can take a little bit. I don't know what the limit is, 10 seconds or whatever it is, but in certain situations, under pressure situations and that, players take longer to do things and that. Do you know what I mean? Right, and that rule needs to be a bit, use your discretion a bit. It's just like, well, I'll give you a yellow card, and then going forward, it just forces. It could start. Oh, I better rush now. I better rush to take my kick. It puts pressure on players. Don't agree with it. Absolute nonsense that was. And then I think who else got booked as well? Can't remember. But
Chong.
Oh yeah, Chong. That one, right? He said he dived. There was a foul on Congo previous to that, and then a clip. He clipped his ankles. Yeah, he went over a bit dramatically, but he definitely clipped his ankles. It was a foul. And that's the problem you get though with Premier League players. No disrespect to Chong like that, but they're used to that. They'll see how many rolls they can do when they, and things like that, and you've got to just deal with that to a certain extent. But he clipped him. It definitely it shouldn't have been a yellow card for diving. It was absolute nonsense. And then it just kept coming, and then eventually, obviously, he started booking their players.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, we'll move on to the second half. Obviously, it wasn't too bad. Obviously they made some changes. Iwobi and obviously Carlos Vinicius. And then 3 minutes after, obviously they did get the goal. It is a handball in it, by Iwobi. We all know this. And the thing that annoys me about VAR is they don't, they need to. What's the point of it if you're not going to use it for all these big decisions?
I think what it is they've shot themselves in the foot with it a little bit because certain decisions are made difficult by that fact. So they're not going to, as soon as they see that handball, they do see how play develops, but they let it go too far. But by then they're like, it's too late now. I don't know what the time limit is. Right? No one knows what the time limit is. I think that if he handballed it and then they passed it 1-2 shot scored, then it might have been brought back. But it went on for too long, and in our players' heads, they're like, "That was handball. That's handball. That was handball." I knew. So I just knew as soon as it went handball. I know they're looking at it. Gosh, they bombed. I was like, they're going to score now. I just knew it. So there's that delay. That's another thing. We're learning. We're still learning these things. Yeah, you've got to be switched on to play to the whistle. You've got to think, right, yeah, his handball, they ain't doing nothing. Just carry on playing. If they put it back, they put it back. Bonus. If they don't, and you're like questioning it, gives other teams, that's a bit of naivety in my opinion. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it, and it just went on too long, and that's my opinion of it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If the ref had seen it, it would have been pulled up, wouldn't it? Definitely.
Yeah. Oh no, I definitely agree with that. We need to carry on and play to the whistle. You learn that at quite a young age. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but with VAR, I understand it because it's new to them guys, and they're not like they're thinking, that must be obvious, so it'll get pulled back. That kind of thing, But it's a penalty incident against West Ham. This is the difference between this penalty incident, which I sort of looked at and went, no, then Rob Edwards and Lockyer have been going on about it after the game. Yeah. The penalty incident against West Ham, when Rob Edwards was interviewed, after that game, and they said about it, he goes, I don't remember that. I didn't see that. So see the contrast, and the players at that time weren't really contesting it. So again, it shows you that what VAR can do, and they've just got to get used to that, and just play as if, obviously if it's so blatant like that, how they could have, then the referee might thought actually like they're not going to react like that for no reason, because it's instincts, and that needs to be brought into VAR, like sensible, body language kind of attitude, then the whole mishmash of it, rather than just black and white, like you're not even what this. Do you know what I mean? That needs to be brought into it. So that shows you that Rob Edwards, as I said, didn't even know about that penalty incident. Well, we could see it because we were watching it and on the TV and that. So yeah, that's what I think. Just got to get used to VAR. We've got to get used to VAR. Well, the thing is, yeah, we watch other games as well. We all do. We watch Premier League games and that, so we're kind of used to it. But they've not played in it. These players, so that's different. So
Yeah.
And it changes all the time, doesn't it? Even top teams get decisions, whatever. Do you know what I mean? So you've just got to play to the whistle or whatever, or to the VAR or whatever. That's number one. Start doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, it just in VAR they just don't look at everything, which just annoys me. It's just it is just pointless. It is. So handball. I remember when we were watching it. Obviously you can't see it close up, but you can just tell that was a handball. It's just frustrating. They just don't look at all these decisions. Why do our players just go and surround the referee? Loads of them as well. Do you know what I mean? Like it's annoying, but obviously they got the goal from there, as we know. Obviously Carlos Vinicius as well, and it's one of them goals, isn't it? Kaminsky, as much as he started off very well for us, in the Brighton game, the Chelsea game to a certain extent, definitely the Brighton game, he prevented it from being even more than it could have been. But he has made two mistakes. We have to just be honest now. The West Ham game, I still say Giles should be marking him, but at the same time, I think Kaminsky knew by his reaction he has to be saving that. And in that one, it's not great goalkeeping, is it? Really, can't really blame the defender for that, because he's got to be claiming it. Really, you come out like that, you've got to be claiming it, sort of thing. And then it just fell out to him. Pretty easy finish, and 1-0 Fulham from that. So yeah, like you say, obviously you knew that they were going to score from it.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the actual goal?
Well, yes, people would say Kabore, whatever, should have prevented the cross and da. But that can happen in any game. Should have prevented the cross and that. But at the end of the day, if the cross does go in, which is football, then it's down to the defenders and the keeper to deal with it. And the keep, you might be able to get away with parrying it out. You can't be too harsh on him, like you say. Parrying it out in the Premier League, mate, that's going in, mate. That's whistling past your ear immediately as you touch it. It's getting slapped back in, which it did do, and there's nothing you can do. It's that quickness. You can't be doing that. Misjudged it a little bit, but then he's got to improve. This is where you show yourself from a top, championship keeper to a Premier League keeper. You won't be parrying that. You'll be jumping. You'll slap your hand on it, and it's going nowhere. And then the striker's trying to kick it, and then it's a free kick to us or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But again, unlucky really. Weren't kind of a gifted goal to that extent. So it weren't like they punished us at all. We kept them to a minimum overall. It was a bit frustrating, because of course it is. But nothing you can do about that, really. I'm not going to be too harsh on him. It weren't his greatest performance, but you know.
Yeah, it's all interesting. But yeah, the later stages of the game, we had a few good chances. Could have got a draw. Lockyer had a chance at the end, header. Weren't quite the connection he wanted at all. You could tell by his reaction, and we were going forward a few times. Chio done very well when he come on. There was a moment where I can't remember who played the long ball. I think it might have been Lockyer actually. And I was thinking, he ain't get like Chio's not. No one's getting to that, but Chio. I knew he was fast, but geez, I didn't realise he was that fast. He managed to actually get to it. I think we might have earned a corner, if I'm right from it. So he looked good when he come on again. And then obviously Elijah done okay when he come on, done okay. Obviously Doughty come on as well. And Ruddock, he's looked good every game when he's come on. He's looked hungry. And then obviously a bit later on after that, Woodrow come on. Obviously against one of his former teams. He did get appreciation from the Fulham fans when he come on. But yeah, it was just 9 minutes to go, plus the added time, which it was only 4 in both halves, which I was a bit, surprised about in this game. But yeah, we had our chances, but we just didn't quite manage to take them. But it was an improvement definitely. You have seen that step upon step in the sense where obviously the Brighton game was 4 goals conceded, Chelsea is 3, West Ham was 2, this one's 1. So the next one going to be hopefully none, but we'll see. But it's just there goes my phone.
Bell had a great opportunity as well.
Yeah, good shout. Forgot about that moment.
He won't really snatch it. He just, I guess it was a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. He's a left back. He rarely scores. Again, Matthew Upson was like, that's the difference in quality. Mate, how many goals did you score with your feet? And he's a left back who rarely scores. He got it.
I think as much as it was at him, it's always one of them sticky shots. I thought that was a really good catch by Leno, to be fair. Again, I thought that one was in. When we were watching it, I was going mental. I thought it was in.
Another opportunity. See that another creating them opportunity. Burke had a chance when he was playing. I think Elijah had come on or Ruddock, and they were playing it to each other in the box. Burke got forward and trying to get out of his feet. That was close as well. The Lockyer header was glancing, but at least he was getting forward. Come on now. We just need to show a bit more, especially, we'll see at home. I think it's going to be totally different. We can see them patterns. If we push teams, they don't like to be pushed. Plus, I saw Wolves impressive in the first half against Liverpool, and then as soon as Liverpool started going at them a little bit, and Liverpool weren't even in fourth gear for me. Wolves didn't know what to do. And I think if you go at them, they're good at passing it around and that, but if you use your proper go at them, and I think you've got a good chance, especially at home. I thought just one of the substitutes were maybe could have put them on a bit earlier. But it is what it is, isn't it? It weren't that bad. It weren't that bad. It is frustrating to lose, because we're not used to losing consistently. Yeah,
No.
All these fat buffoons and that on the BBC, them and like Garth Crook, Fat Crooks or whatever his name is. Yeah, people like that. They ain't got a clue, mate. Do you know what I mean? So dismissive of other teams outside the Premier League. It's ridiculous. So, we're not used to losing. Simple as that. But real fans can see the improvements, and if we can't, and you're on that level, train or whatever, where you like this, or they haven't spent enough money, and you're getting influenced by this bullshit that's coming out. We spent 10, 12 million on upgrading one stand. We've had to do that. Maybe we would have spent that on other players. Maybe not. Probably would have spent some of it on there. We've put 25, 30 million aside for the power court. The money was there anyway, but we're putting that there. Do you know what I mean? To speed it up. It's guaranteed there. And why not? Maybe we took 5 million out of that. We haven't. And we're not going to just spend just to flipping stay in the league. Not going to do it. Because that's, it's not sustainable. Look at Chelsea. How much Chelsea spent?
Too much.
Where are they? Yeah, it's early days, but you're saying the same thing about Luton. Where are they in the table?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
All that money, and
FP charge.
can't even score it.
Certain teams can't spend money because they kept spending and spending and spending it, and now they're struggling. Everton, Wolves, and when they go down, their parachute payments will just cover their wages. Or if it, well, they probably won't even cover that. They won't have the revenue they get from the thing in it, messes them up. We're not playing them stupid games. Obviously, what we do want to see, we want to see us going down. Most of our fans, say it would be close or whatever. But if you do go down, you want to see a fight, and that's it. That's all you want to see.
Yeah, of course.
We are improving. We played one game at home. Let's see.
No, we are improving. It's just the thing that like I say, obviously we did have close opportunities. It's just putting the ball in the net, man. That's the only thing for me.
Once it happens properly, because we haven't scored. Well, we've scored one goal from open play. But once our attacking players start scoring, and you can eventually pass it, because Barkley will get better. You can pass it to my man, and he's going to shoot from 25 yards and score. They'll be looking to do that. I'll be right. There's our strength in midfield. Now we can see right. Like even from this game, like where Rob Edwards has changed it up a bit, and he said about it. Brown wasn't up front necessarily. He was kind of defending a lot and sort of playing into the spaces on the right and things like that. Yeah, and it worked. So then already know, right, okay, we can kind of play that way, but maybe we should change this because that didn't quite work, or things like that. And it's going to get better. I don't care if teams, like Klopp and that, and I think even their manager come out and says, it's hard when they're defending like that. Well, we're going to defend like that, mate. Yeah, get used to it. That's it. We've got to do what you got to do, innit?
Yeah. No, exactly.
And he didn't expect us to play like that in that formation. See? And we've been talking about, you need to change it up. But at home, keep it as kind of how it is, and then go for it.
That's what I was saying at the start of the season.
Go for it, because I think that'll work. You have the fans on board.
Yeah.
That's another reason why defence done so well last season, because they didn't. Most of the stuff that was coming to them, they were just heading it away. They weren't under that much pressure like they are now. But we're allowing that. But this game, it was being protected a lot more. It felt like better. So, yeah, fuck them fools, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Going back to the formation thing, I was saying that at the start of the season. Obviously, I've said it numerous times. Over the previous Hat shows as well. Obviously, we're going to need to change it up. A lot away from home, because just how the quality of the teams. But at home, stick with maybe change it up a little bit, like you say. But overall, keep that direct. Because it will just benefit us. At home, with just how Kenilworth Road is, with how the pitch is and tight, and how it benefits us, sort of thing. So. Yeah, but Stephen saying 1 billion. Yeah, they did actually, because the Bournemouth fans were singing that yesterday. They're singing like 1 billion, and I can't remember how it goes. But we'll go through some more comments before we jump into the player ratings. Hanno says, positives, finally chances were created. The defence looked good. And negatives, the midfield lacked energy and can't finish their dinner. I mean, the midfield at times, I think it was all right. But like I say, a lot of times in the first half, I thought we were misplaced passes, but we have seen that a lot already.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the midfield, Nakamba and Nakonga ain't goal scorers anyway.
Oh yeah, of course.
Potentially get better, but he was sort of playing, he was coming across to the right as well to and that. So I think at home it'll be like Lansbury or other. We'll play differently anyway, but we're not gonna. We have the midfield. Well, potentially Chong. We've got midfielders to score goals, but them two, they're not going to.
No, of course not.
The Congo might. Like, Nakamba's not known for that. I've rarely seen him. Apart from, I think the best guy I've seen him scored was penalty for us at Wembley, mate.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah.
So, it depends on that's going to happen. That's you've got to get used to it. And a lot of teams, I was looking at formations yesterday, and they just play one up front. Some of them, but albeit they've got it in it. But we have to try that out. I must admit, it didn't really. From Morris's perspective, it didn't really work. But he's not used to that as well. So you can change that up, right? You could give see what Elijah's like on his own up front. In that, I don't know. It'd be interesting. You can say it like that, but then if he's got that turn because you play differently, he has got that turn and that pace to burst forward and stuff. Especially if like Chio was on the right or left or whatever. Right, I think that could work. Especially but we'll see.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Similar to me, Stephen, with this. He says, just felt we're not ruthless at all. It's becoming a habit. We need to find that little extra and quickly. Next Wolves away. Yeah, Wolves away is a 6-pointer for me. I said they'd be in a relegation battle. Obviously, we will be in it as well. But it's a massive game. Of course, it is. When I look to the calendar, like being honest, this was probably, for me, because you look at the games, no, if I'm looking at the start of the season, I'd maybe said probably West Ham maybe getting a point because, I didn't expect them to start as well as they have. But then the game after I was proper looking at was this game, to get some points, especially if us being at home and Wolves, being in the battle for me when it comes to relegation. So, yes, definitely a 6-pointer on that one. That's for sure. Jackie says, hi, Ty does officials. Crap. Yeah. Again.
But again, we're used to that in the Championship. I know, the standards are meant to be better. Maybe they kind of will even themselves out a little bit, but it does get that little bit of feeling. I'm sorry, but we're Fulham and the home team. We can't really be giving, and you do get the pressure from the crowd. Look at back in the day before VAR, Alex Ferguson. They used to call it Fergie time, because he'd be like, "Come on, like, there's still an extra minute where Man United could win this game," and that referees always seem to like think, panic and go, "Oh, no." Do you know what I mean? And that's what goes on. I don't care what anyone says, it goes on. But obviously, if they can kind of, if it's blatantly obvious, then they can't do it. Do you know what I mean? But I just feel like a little bit like that. But again, we've had officials all the way through the leagues, pretty much. Maybe apart from League One, where they seem to be. I don't really remember it being that poor, but Conference terrible, League Two terrible, League One, Championship. They're like the relegated Premier League fucking referees. And then VAR is just a whole different ball game. So again, you just got to play to the thing, and it can get frustrating. And they are getting called out. Put Eckenbottom called definitely went in. He's probably going to get a fine for what he said, but it will make them think and readjust and stuff like that. They do. It's just we know it's going to take time, but it just seems new sort of rules come in for handball or this, that, and the other, and then they don't know what they're doing, and then they're like, "Oh, we're going to crack down on time wasting. We're going to be really harsh," and then again, there's got to be some sort of balance. But by after a few more games, that being ironed out, and they can't just you can't be booking someone in the first half of time wasting. That's just disrespectful to us. He weren't time wasting, from what I can see. And if he was, then you got to question him for doing that. You got to question his mentality, because there's no way like the whole team would have been, that's just time waste. To what, you know what I mean? I can't see it.
Yeah. No, I don't think he was. 36 minutes. Really? I just don't think it. You know, even if we were winning, it's too early.
Would have been
Still
one.
another half to go.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't be doing that. We're not. No.
Nah, come on. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, this is another thing that I've seen slightly as well. It's down to us respecting our opponents. We need to treat them as equals and get stuck in and let them know we're not there to make up numbers.
I'd jump on that as well. Like we can't be doing that with. We probably could have done that a bit more against Fulham, if you look at the goals that they've conceded previously. And that. But certain teams, you have to respect them, and you see that Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham, the way they're playing at the moment, Arsenal, Brighton. The next time you play them, yeah.
Oh yeah, them ones, yeah.
You've got to because.
But then there's times in that game, for example, Leno, he's sitting on the ball for ages.
Yeah, that the pressure.
That is annoying.
Be upped a little bit, but
yeah.
You've got to. For me, you have to respect him a little bit because it's just the way. And I see other teams.
If it's like Man City, well, yeah,
you will have to. You can't. Like,
but
certain teams like Wolves, I want us to go at them. Yeah, we know they can pass pretty. We know they're gonna. When we played in the friendly, that's when we first thought, you know what? Like they're playing us off the park. And they did. They were unlucky to not score, but
so were we though. Remember, Elijah scored.
And it worked then, didn't it? So if we go at them, play, just put them off their passing game. You got to do that a little, frustrate teams. That's what they done against Liverpool in the first half. For like what, but they've got the quality to do that. Let's not forget that they have got good technical players. People do forget that, and it wouldn't surprise me if they actually still do stay up. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you've just got to, it's the balance, basically.
Yeah.
We know we're not there to make up the numbers anyway.
Hobson was more injured than played.
Yeah, honestly, his comments, mate, actually disrespectful, mate. Well, don't, mate. You're an idiot.
Yeah. Mate. No, 100%. But it's that time for player ratings. So let's just jump into it. So obviously Kaminsky, first player. Now, obviously, the goal is, like I say, it's 2 out of 2 mistakes. It wasn't the best game I've seen of him, but again, I don't want to be too harsh on him because, even like I said earlier, the Brighton game, he prevented it from being even more. Same with the Chelsea game. But it is a talking point. Would you start Krul next game, or would you give him a chance still? One more chance? Because they do say
it sounds silly that one more chance and all that. At the end of the day, he has been playing pretty well. I don't think it's a chance that you can just swap the keeper around in this game because it's an important home game. It's players have kind of been playing with him, the defence and stuff like that. Obviously in training, they're cool and they're trusting and but for me, he should still start.
Fair enough. Me, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to see. I'm going to have to decide later on in the week because they do say third time lucky, and he has done well. The games previously.
But we think about it, in this game, like to be honest, I was going to give him a lower rating, but I'm not going to. He didn't really have much to do. His distribution was a bit questionable, but he wasn't having to make, saves like he was in the previous games. He didn't really. The best. What was it? The shot on target was from a free kick from Wilson, straight at him, basically. Other than that, he didn't really have much to do. Let's be honest.
Nah, there's a couple straight at him.
We was away as well, and they drew 2-2 with Arsenal. So,
Yeah. No, I definitely hear that. As for a rating, like you say, distribution was questionable, but again, we did get warned. Well, I got warned about that. And again, I always say, even look at the top keepers, their distribution's shaky at times. But yeah, he didn't really have much to do the goal. Obviously, we all know he could have done better. The yellow card he got was bull crap. So when it comes to a rating for Kaminsky, I'll say I'll go over 6.5.
After I've said all I've got to say about him, I'm going to give him a 6.
6, fair enough. Let's go through the comments when it comes to player ratings. Big up to everyone that is doing them as well. Stephen says 6, not many save needed, but a 1 cost us. Yeah, exactly. And then Kaminsky 5, says Jackie, so that's fair enough. And then moving on to the next player, we will go over to... We'll do Burke. Burke, I didn't think he was too bad. A few long balls he was doing were all right. He weren't doing them as much as Lockyer, for example, but he was doing all right. Obviously, he had that chance, like you said. And, we do believe, and we've said it, he can make that step up to the Premier League. And I think the couple of games we are seeing it, since he's come back. It will be interesting, in my opinion, though, when Osho is back. Not like the first game, because obviously Burke will still start, but like as it gets on, will Osho play ahead of him? Will they both play, etc.? We'll see. But yeah, he was all right. I'll just go with a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. I thought he was decent. You can see he's up in his game. He's got that concentration. He makes some good interceptions. His awareness is good. He's physical. I like it. I think he's good at the moment, and yeah, he will and going forward potentially if Osho does get fit and that again, if Lockyer drops his game, I can see him being replaced by them because Lockyer's is he's got his ability, but pace seems to be a lot in here, and they're more athletic players as well. So I can see him getting pushed out eventually, definitely. Anyway.
Yeah.
But, I'll give him a 7. I thought he was pretty good, and going forward and that as well. He's better at passing than he's probably the best centre back passer that we've got. I mean, Osho's pretty decent as well. But I'd say Anderson, I've seen him a little bit, but going forward and that, I feel that Burke's.
I'd say Burke. Yeah.
Decent. Do you know what I mean? That guy, I feel that he could play CDM as well, in my opinion. But 7. I'm glad we've got him in our team, and I expect him to start, playing quite regularly. Yeah,
definitely. At this current moment in time, let's just touch wood. There's no injuries because that's the only problem he has.
No, he still bangs in 20 games a season.
Of course. But yeah, moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Lockyer. The long balls were frustrating me from him, at times. Because, we see at times it didn't work in the Championship. He did make some really good blocks in this game, though. That's what we'll say. And we have seen that a few times. And obviously last season as well. Look at the Blackpool away game, for example. That's where he's got that nickname, Blocker. But he was all right defensively. It was just going forward. That chance, I think he knew he had to do better. I know he's not a striker or attacker or whatever, but I think he knows as well. He did have a little bit of space looking back at it as well. Weren't like someone was on him. I've seen better from him. I'll go with 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. But it wasn't a bad performance. Do you know what I mean? It was, I don't think it was his best so far or not. Maybe West Ham was. But it was all right. He did make a really good tackle as well, later on. But yeah, for me, it was just the passing forward, long balls and that. They weren't great. It's a bit frustrating. I know he's still a defender, but if he's doing that, then he's doing that, innit? In a Championship, it works sometimes, but even then, you could see that it weren't working.
Yeah. And I remember when I was at a lot of games and fans were getting frustrated.
I see what I mean. Yeah, so I get it. We really got to improve on that. But defensively, he was all right. 6.5.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect him to start either. Let's be honest. So.
Yeah, exactly. Jackie ratings for Burke. She's gone with a 7. So that's fair enough. Stephen says Burke 7 as well. It was okay. Didn't look nervous. He does look.
This is what I was going on about before. Sorry to butt in. Like from last season, like Doughty, Ruddock, Morris to an extent. There's no fear, and when they come on, you can see they're showing no fear. So it's probably the new signings or a couple of players are showing a little bit of fear. Bell was previously; he's not now. Now he's back on his left position. No fear there. Lockie is definitely showing it a little bit. Burke hasn't shown it. Anderson, I don't think he's showing fear, but he was playing in League One before. But Burke, definitely not. And like we've said, you can make that step up.
Yeah, no, 100%. Even comes in with a rare goals every now and then. So you look at Huddersfield,
and he will score for us. He will score for us this season, mate.
Oh yeah, and think as well. He scored against Chelsea in the FA Cup, didn't he, early on? So I think he'll definitely score at some point.
The player would score against one of them top 4.
Yeah.
Bang, head or whatever. I trust
him. Yeah. Lockyer 7, says Jackie. Fair enough. Stephen says Lockyer 6, not impressed. A shame, really. Not too critical, though. Yeah, exactly. Like I say, defensively, I felt he was good. It was just the long balls. They were frustrating. And he knows on that chance he has to, be doing better. Like I say, I know he's not a striker. But, we know he's good at headering. Look at the Sunderland second leg. And that was obviously a massive game, as we know. So he can do it on that stage sort of thing. So, yeah, we'll see, man. But I still back, again, another player that I will back to score at some point this season from a corner, especially at home or something. It would make sense, wouldn't it? But moving on to the last defender out of that back three was obviously Anderson. And like I say, since he's come in, I've been impressed with him. He's looked very composed. And if I was to do a man of the match, obviously you lot know by now I don't like to do them when we lose, but he would be up there for me. Close second for me when it comes to man of the match, if I was to give one. Composed, done well defensively, getting stuck in, and just the usual of what we have seen from him really at this moment in time. So for Anderson, I'll say my second man of the match, if you are to do it like that, I would say I'd give him a 7.5.
I'll give him a 7. I thought he was decent. He was, when that goal went in, he was like the closest defender. I'm not blaming him because he couldn't really do it. It was too late. But he was, part of that defensive unit, which we did do pretty well at, apart from that goal. Let's be honest, he was very good. But I'm just going to give him a 7.
Yeah. And another thing as well, he was on that left, which obviously we know he can play there, but he hasn't awfully, I don't even know if he's played there for us at the moment. Yeah, it's been in the middle, but yeah. So yeah, there's also that to take into account as well. Like I say, obviously we know he can play there, but it was his first time for us, I believe. So other than that, he's been in the middle. Stephen's gone quite high. He says 8 is already at top level, says Stephen. So he's got very high praise of him. Like I say as well with Anderson, I feel, as much as he's only just joined, I've said it on numerous Hatter shows now, week upon week, every time we do it pretty much when I talk about him, I feel we can already be part of that leadership group, just because, he was a captain at Barnsley, as we know, and, just how composed he looks already, because it links back to what you said earlier, that he's made a jump up from League One.
Yeah.
And he looks...
Yeah, I think he can step up. He can step up there, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully at some point for him as well, he starts getting in the Denmark squad. That would be good. Maybe even for the Euros. That'd be pretty sick. But we'll see, man. We'll see with that. And then Jackie's gone with a 7.5, so she's gone with the same as me. Moving on to the wing backs. We'll start off with Bell. Obviously, he was, in that position that he likes to be in. Obviously, he's much better in that position, as we know. You could see, like you said earlier, that he was confident, a lot more confident in that position. Even links back to, even that Gillingham game when he was playing left centre back. He had that little scare, didn't he, where he fell over, and you could tell he's not. He's not confident there. So links to what you say there, but much better in this game. That chance, very unlucky. I'm not going to be critical at all of that chance because one, like you said, he's a defender, and two, I thought it was a good save by Leno, even though it was pretty much straight at him, just the power of the shot and the way Leno, caught it. He's a very good shot stopper. We said that in the preview. So yeah, Bell, he was all right for me. He was all right for Bell. I'll go with a 7 for Bell.
Yeah, I thought it was the best game I've seen him so far. Again, natural position, going forward a lot more. Had a lot more time on the ball to suss out his passes and stuff. And he's a key member. He's done very well for us. This is probably what he's like. I don't know if Blackburn were decent in the Championship, but this is he's been doing the best he's doing in his career probably. I thought it was the best performance so far from him. Even though we thought he'd be rested, I do think that he might probably be rested for the next game. We'll discuss this.
I'll be honest.
But yeah, 7 close. I wanted to give him a bit more, but the 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to Kabore, who was obviously on the other side. Expected him to start, of course, and he was all right. He was better. Again, credit to him. Like I said, I know he was rested for the second game, but I managed to watch the first game for Bukayo Fazo. I'm not going to lie, I wish I didn't in the end, no disrespect. But 0-0, it was a boring game. But he did play in that. You could tell he was their best player. And, in this game, I thought he was decent. I think there was one moment, it might not have been him though, where a cross was wasted. It was a bit gutting. I think it might have been him, but we have seen that a few times. But going forward, defending, he gets stuck in. That's what I've noticed. He proper gets stuck in. He's not. Sometimes he players duck out of challenges. He doesn't. You saw that a few times in this game. I think he was all right. I'll go with a 6.5.
Nah, well, another 7 for me. I think it's probably the best game I've seen him play. Defensively, he's just working. He's just getting up to speed. Yeah. The 2 chances that we did have, both came from his crosses. All right. So the first one that was eventually headed on, down towards Morris, came from his cross, and the header, brilliant cross. Absolute brilliant cross. Good play forward, and that he's definitely, you can see why he's at Man City, and he's just going to get better. That was his best performance for me so far. 7.
Yeah, no, that's a good shot. I did forget about that cross. Yeah, that was a very good cross. But yeah, fair enough. Let's go through the comments. Stephen says Bell in his natural position finally looked okay, even after Jamaica. That's the thing. That's the thing as well. That's why we thought he'd be rested. Obviously, Stephen, we said that. But just because of that, played 2 full 90 minutes as well. It's obviously, across the pond, as they say.
He's a warrior, mate.
Yeah, he is. No,
really,
not at all. Not at all.
For his effort.
So fair play to him. I was just surprised. He was, especially the way Doughty's been knocking on the door as well. I thought he'd maybe be on the left.
I think it's because he's away though. That's the only reason.
Yeah, makes sense. And he's gone with 7 for Bell, which is obviously fair enough. Kabore, best game so far. Steven's on the same boat as you when it comes to that. And then Jackie says Bell 7 and Issa 7. Fair enough. And then moving on to the midfield, we'll start off with Lokonga. Now, you know me, I'm a bit sceptical of this signing, only because what I've seen of him at Palace last season when he was on loan, he wasn't as good as I thought he'd maybe be there. But we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. I didn't think he started off the game too great. You know, a few misplaced passes. But I thought as we grew into the game, you know, we done a bit better. That challenge on him, like I say, was a disgrace. How, you know, Paulinho didn't get a card for that. But he was all right. He was all right, you know, as the game grew on, like I said. So for me, you know, it is his first game as well. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt in that sense, you know, because we did with Ross Barkley, you know, obviously against Chelsea. So I'll go for 6.5.
Yeah, same 6.5. Again, it's just going to take a few games for him, but you see he's got the ability. As I said, they trust him and that on the free kicks and things like that. But yeah, sloppy passes from him, particularly a couple of times. But like as you say, first game. But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jackie's gone Lokonga 6.5, which is obviously fair enough, same as us. Steam says Lokonga 7, a fair debut, best yet to come. Yeah, I definitely think it'll improve. It'll definitely improve under us, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, there's that. Moving on to Nakamba. Obviously, the two more defensive midfielders. Nakamba, you know, against West Ham, I thought he improved massively compared to what he's been like previously before the start of the season. This game, he was all right. He was all right, you know, still making them tackles, you know, getting stuck in. And yeah, just the usual, really, that we expect from him, I guess. So again, I'll go with another 6.5.
Well, he's close to being man of the match for me, Nakamba. It's the best performance I've seen from him so far. The Nakamba, we know he was biting the tackles, you know, he's winning the ball. He was really good. Breaking up the play, intelligent. He was playing well for what he was. This game suited him, I feel. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Jackie's gone with a 7 for Nakamba. Big up to Billy, mate. Hope you're well. He says, honestly, I think Luton were unlucky. I saw the highlights and you deserve to draw from that. Yeah, like we said, you know, it was definitely our best performance. The only thing, it doesn't worry me. It's just a bit frustrating. We just not managing to put the ball in the back of the net. But I know when we do,
Both, you know,
I'm not going to say the goals are going to come like we're not going to score like 2 or 3. 3, say for example. But I do believe we will start scoring in games after that. That's how I see it. But what did you want to say? Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, no, like they were close. You know, it hit the top of the crossbar, like, and Morris's shot was very close as well. Like, and then Bell's shot was on target as well. So we're getting there. You know, that's the thing. You just got to go. You know, you've got to take maybe a little, like with Chong's effort. Like, yeah, I get why he's shot in that, but I could see other players of his ability or a bit more ability would stop, then cut inside because Matey Boy was right behind him, and maybe if, you know, put it to the keeper's right or whatever. But you know, I'm not going to be too harsh. But he's actually had a chance, and I'm sure he's had a chance in every single game. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's only a matter of time before he scores as well. And once he gets going, I think he's a confidence player as well. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously a player I can think of that would do that, obviously, you know, quality player, is obviously Rashford. And you saw that when they played Arsenal. When it comes to that cutting thing. But yeah, Nakamba 7, says Stephen, so that's fair enough. And yeah, we're good, thanks, mate. Hope you are well. But yeah, moving on to Chong. You know, obviously, like we said, he had that shot. You know, obviously, we just mentioned that. I thought he was okay. You know, he still got stuck in. For me, he hasn't, the last 2 games, he hasn't been as good as he has been in the first, you know, couple before that, the first 2 before that. Yeah. He's still been okay. Like you said, he was out on the right at some points. It seemed like he was linking up with with Kabore at times, you know, pushing over to that right. So obviously that was a you know, tactic thing. I thought he was okay, but I did feel he did need to come off at some point. Me personally, I wanted to see Berry on just because, you know, we know the impact he can do. You know, hasn't really been given the chance to do it in the Prem yet. So you can't really say he can't do it in the Prem because we haven't really seen it. And obviously Barkley weren't on the bench. Obviously, ideally I would have started Barkley, but obviously injury. So yeah, Chong was okay, but I've seen better. So for me, I'm going to go with a 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 6.5. Right. The thing is, you know, he's trying defensively and that, but that's not his game. Let's be honest. His game is pushing forward, splitting, you know, passes, things like that. You know, we need to utilize him a bit more, and I feel like he might not have started this game. Could be wrong if Barkley was fit, but 6.5. Yeah, I'm sure. I think at home he'll be better at home than he is away. If that makes sense. So we might start not playing. You know, it depends who we're playing and how we are, and think, you know. But I think that's the problem there. 6.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jackie's gone with a 6.5 as well. Stephen says Chong 6, not his best few tackles, but he has more. Yeah, we know he can definitely do more. That's the thing. Like I say, I've seen it in them 2 games. You know, the first 2. You know, the opposition players were struggling to deal with him, even in pre-season to a certain extent. When we did play Wolves, you know, he was getting fouled all over the place, and you know, I did see that a lot of times in the other 2 games as well at the start of the season. So it's one of them. But yeah, that's the midfield done. Now moving on to the front 2. Obviously Morris and Brown. We'll start off with. We'll go with Brown first. For me, if I was to give the man a match, it would be him. You know, I was calling for him to start. He eventually did. And, you know, obviously had that chance off the post, very unlucky. He come back and done some really good work defensively as well, I felt, in this game. And, you know, you can see that there's a player there that works hard. You know, like I said, when we did sign him, he was the Joe Taylor replacement for this season. Or at least for now, you know, until January, maybe, I don't know, but you never know. But right now he is. And you know, he's getting stuck in games, and yeah, I don't really want to say too much when it comes to the lineup on Saturday, what I go for, but yeah, he was good. He was good again. You know, and this time he got the chance from the get-go, other than the Gillingham game, obviously in the Premier League. So I'm gonna go with a 8. He was the best player for me. So.
Yeah, I'll give him an 8. He's my man of the match. You know, I thought his work rate was excellent. The chance was brilliant header, so unlucky not to score. It's giving that energy. He definitely fits straight into how, you know, if we were in a championship, perfect. Do you know what I'm saying? So he fits into that mentality that we've got 100%. He has to start the next game. And yeah, defensively as well, you know, working his absolute socks off, winning the balls as well. He's not just running around like a headless chicken. He's doing the business. And then there was an opportunity for him. Who was it? I don't know if it was in the Congo or the Campbell. Someone popped through ball to him, and he had that little run, and he got taken out by Diop as well. Like, you know, you can see that he's going to be dangerous. Definitely. You know, Stoke fans are like, yeah, but he ain't quite got that finishing ability, but we'll see. And you know, whatever, if he can create chances for the other players, which I think he did. He was the one who headed it down to Morris, who had that that shot. Yeah, very, very good. Man of match. 8.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just go through the comments. No worries, Billy, mate. Don't know if you're still here now, but big up yourself, mate. Appreciate that. Brown 7.5 says Jackie, so that's fair enough. Stephen says Brown 7.8. Mads just beats him to man of the match. Yeah, like I say, they were the close 2 for me. So yeah, that's fair enough. And yeah, that is that. Now on to the subs. Obviously, 2 were made in the 74th minute. Well, technically, they're all made at the same time.
We ain't done Morris.
Oh, yeah, we ain't done Morris. Yeah, good shout. Good shout. I'll tell you what it is, because I said both strikers earlier, and then started off with Brown. But yeah, Morris, you know, like you say, he had that chance. You know, he's one of them. As much as he hasn't scored yet, you know, obviously he has got an assist in the Premier League. You wouldn't drop him still. But obviously we've seen better, but it wasn't too bad. I'll just go for 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 6.5. The thing is, like I say, you know, he was kind of the lone striker, so it's very difficult for him. He's probably not used to that as well. We did have some good moments, but other than that, it was quite frustrating for him with Phil. But that's going to happen at certain times, isn't it? 6.5.
Yeah, I go with that. Jackie says Morris didn't have a great game, 6.5. Yeah, I'd agree. To what we have seen of him, definitely agree. And then, like I say, moving on to the subs, 4 were made at the same time. And there were obviously Doughty, Chio, Elijah, and Ruddock. Doughty, I think I'll just go for 6.
Yeah, same. It weren't the usual energy from it. Well, it was the energy, but it wasn't like the kind of the end product. And I think he'd done one corner across, and it was just out of play. And it, you know, from a sub, it weren't the best he's done. So yeah, 6.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Chio, like I say, that run, the way he got to that ball was fair play, because the defender was quite a far bit in front of him, I felt, as well. At some point, hopefully he, gets that opportunity to start, especially if he carries on like this. You know, we saw how good he was in the international break. You know, all right, he didn't score, but like we said on the last one, the France game, even the Ireland fans are saying he was the best player on the pitch for them. He had that chance, a good save, header, and then even the Holland game, it probably weren't a penalty, but they did got it, and it was because of him. So there's that. It will be interesting to see when he does start where he might play, because obviously we know he can play, and we see it for Ireland in that France game. He was sort of, as a wing back, it seemed, and then obviously the Holland game, he was obviously, more up front. So it'll be interesting to see what we do. But yeah, he was decent when he come on. So yeah, I'll go slightly higher than Doughty for Chio. I'll go 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 6.5. The come on, each game is lively, and he can cause problems. But I think we're just trying to find where he can fit in. Because we can't really be starting him, especially away. I mean, I don't know. We haven't really had a chance to see how he is defensively. I do believe that when he played for Rotherham, he was like right wing back. Could be wrong, but he was definitely on that side anyway. And the way we play, we're going to put him over Kabora, especially away. He's better at going forward. He can play up front. So I want to see him start. So maybe we have to tweak our formation at some point. I had discussed with you previously. Maybe I'm like putting 3 across the front. 4-3-3. Put 2 defensive midfielders in there, 1 in front of them maybe, and then bang 3. Why not? He can fit into that. But we'll see. But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephen's rating from Morris says Morris gets a 7.2. He works hard being on his own. Yeah, he did. Absolutely. Jackie says Doughty 6. And then she says Chio, love him, 6.5. Yeah, he's works hard. We've already seen that. And I think the first time I was thinking, yeah, you know what, he's going to be pretty good for us, even though it was only a friendly, was the Ipswich game. Because he looked very good in that game from what I saw. And then Stevens for the subs, he says all of them 6 apart from Pelly and Chio, who get 6.5. And we are moving on to Elijah and Ruddock. Elijah, I'd just go for 6.5. A few good touches, good link-up play, which we know he's good at. It's just sometimes when we need someone in the box, he's not really getting in them positions at the moment. And we know he's good at it because we've seen, over his time at Luton, he scored a lot of goals in the headers.
Yeah,
especially the early days.
Why is that not happening?
Yeah, that's the thing.
We need
I'll go for 6.5.
like considering, yeah, because he knew like got dropped or not dropped, but when they tried something different for this game, or maybe dropped if you think about it. But when he did come on, his head wasn't down. He done all right. 6.5.
Yeah, it's the same as what Jackie's gone with there. And then obviously Stephen said 6 for Elijah. And then moving on to Ruddock, I'll just go in with a straight 6.5 again. He's showing determination, when he's coming on. And like I've said, he won't like the way that he's not a regular now, because obviously he was last season, a lot. Obviously, Campbell wasn't played as much as we maybe thought he would be. And then Ruddock was there alongside Nakamba and, mainly Clark. So, yeah, he's, done well when he's come on, Ruddock, and he showed that he wants to, still be, starting at some point. So I'll go for 6.5 for Ruddock.
Yeah, 6.5. He's hungry. He's showing, part of me is thinking now, these players that were regulars in the championship, and but when he's come on, his passing's been good. He's switched on. At some point, for me, you've got to be starting them because they're the players that got you there, and especially at home, start him and see what he can do.
Yeah.
He's looked lively every single time he's come on. He's looked, he's getting in the box, or he's on the edge of the box looking to pounce. His passing, his tackle, he looks good. Just, I don't know. I'd be giving him a chance personally. I think, especially at home, 6.5.
Yeah, excuse me. I certainly would be as well. And then moving on to the last player, Woodrow. Obviously, come on with 9 minutes. Like I said, obviously you've got that applause and appreciation from the Fulham fans. Obviously, his time when he was there. But yeah, I just think with how the game was going, we was gonna, lose probably. So I'll just go with 6.
Yeah, I'll give you a 6. I don't know who that is at my buzzer. I'm just going to ignore it. I thought he's, 6. He didn't really have much of the ball. Nice to see him getting applause. That's a good sign. Today obviously to see a player in there, and we know there's a player in there as well. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, 9 minutes, 6.
Yeah, and the amount of people as well inside the club, Rob Edwards, Lockyer, I think said it as well. His finishing's the best at the club. So we know it's definitely there. Even people go, oh, it's Julian, but even the goal he scored in that game, you can see glimpses of Norwich. There's been games since he's come back that we've seen that. So
he'll bang it in, definitely.
Yeah. And then the last player ratings, Jackie's gone with a 6 for Pelly, and she's also gone with a 6 for Woodrow. So yeah, that is everything. So obviously, we both give Brown a man of the match if we was to give one. So yeah, any final things you'd like to say on Fulham, or just anything in general?
No, Fulham, we played all right. Just ignore the media. Try, trust how it's going, man, and know where we are. And it is frustrating, but look at the position we're in. Think about, especially if you was at Wembley, even if you weren't, like how good that felt. We knew it's going to be difficult. Like we're in there, and yet if we get relegated, we're still in a massively great position. We'll get the parachute payments. We'll invest wisely. We'll look at it. It is a free hit. I'm sorry for anyone to say it is a free hit. You learn. You go, right. Let's analyze this. Where do we struggle? What do we need to improve? We said we're getting more technical players in, but they still got to bed in. And then you got we need them in this position. We need to do this, that, and the other one. And we'll do that. No doubt we'll do that. We're not going to be, that's it. We run too well. So just enjoy it. It is frustrating. We're not used to losing. But 10 years ago, we was in a conference. Just think about it. Just have that constantly in the back of your mind, and that's it. Come on now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I know we're improving, game by game. I said it earlier, the goals we're conceding, for example. But yeah, it's just a finishing. But as soon as it does come, I just hope it. I just hope it's this weekend. I really do. We'll kick on from there, and then obviously we've got the cup game as well. Be interesting that one. If we progress in that, then be getting closer potentially to the quarterfinals. So that'll be pretty good as well. But we'll see. We have to get past Exeter first, and obviously we'll preview that nearer the time as well. But obviously a hat show. Obviously on Friday, hoping to get a Wolves fan on. Hope to do that consistency with most teams in the Premier League, get an opposition fan on. And then we'll do the hat show, the next one after that, at the same time as today. Around about the same time, but same day anyway, because it just makes sense. And we'll do that. And then from there on in, obviously, we'll tell you the rest closer to the time. And that is that. But we'll go through the last load of comments. Stephen started a hashtag Pelly in the 11. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all, especially at home. And I don't want to give too much away about my lineup going into Wolves, but that could be a shout. Let's just say that. And Stephen says, big up Ty, thanks for promoting and pinning my channel. Content coming soon, watch your space. Yeah, like I say, we was hoping to do a Forest watch along today, but obviously a 24-hour live streaming enable thing on YouTube. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like when I done it, it just put me in straight away. So I don't know, is what it is. But we'll do one soon on there. But yeah, do make sure you subscribe. Like I say, it's obviously pinned for you lot. So yeah, and then Jackie says, I don't look at social media. We win if we go down, new stadium, the lot. We just got to stick with the boys.
Exactly that.
No, 100%, definitely. And the thing is, the players we have signed, they're definitely good players for the Championship. A few might go, but we'll probably
more, and we'll be in a good
recruit more. And
one of the favourites to go to get promoted. If we can get into the playoffs,
and we'll be getting a bit more money for the players as well. So
we can get playoffs with the teams that we did have. You think we'll push on? It's obvious.
Yeah, 100%.
And you can also look at in the background. You've got that. Look at teams like Middlesbrough, who last season were doing very well. All right, they play a certain way, but they loaned a lot of players and they've gone. And if you don't then recruit well, because they haven't got a lot of money to spend. That was their problem. You see, so that's why we're not going to do it. So they had to let sell. They couldn't afford Giles. They had to let Akpom go and things like that because they haven't got the money to go out and spend. So and that's it. Whereas if we get relegated, we're instantly in the top. We was in the bottom 4 of the spending teams in the Championship. We're in the top 6. So if we can get promoted or in the playoffs with the bottom, think what we can do with the top 6. We still don't even have to go out and go right. Well, I'm going to spend 20 million on this striker. And we won't do it. We're in a great position. It is frustrating that we're losing, and that it's the Premier League. It is mental, but it's only going to get better. So just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, 100%. Big up to Geordie, who obviously, as you can see there, is a Newcastle fan. Big up. Hope you're well, mate. But yeah, we're good thanks. Obviously, Newcastle got a good win over the weekend against a good Brentford side. So yeah, obviously that was the interesting one. And obviously, then you play tomorrow, start of your Champions League campaign. That's going to be interesting. I'm definitely going to watch that. It's the early kickoff as well, so I'll definitely be watching that. In Champions League, I will be watching this week, and then obviously build up to our game, a bit later on, obviously in the week on Friday. So that is that. But that is episode 118 of the Hatter Show done. Big up to everyone that has tuned in to this one, and I know a lot of people watch this back on playback. So obviously do the usual if you haven't already. Smash a like on the stream. We're currently on 16 likes before we've even ended. So, I think that might be a record. We're up there for a record. So big up yourselves for that. And yeah, nothing now until the Hat Show when it comes to content that I can think of. Premier League predictions will be out obviously after the Hat Show and that sort of thing. And yeah, obviously no watch along because it's a 3 o'clock game. But yeah, obviously a Hat Show then on Monday. So yeah, next 4 videos. Well, there'll be 2 after this. Will be Hat Shows. So there'll be 4 Hat Shows in a row when it comes to content on this channel. And yeah, that is that. And yeah, obviously we've got watch alongs soon as we play Tottenham and all of that. So watch alongs will be back and up and running at some point. And yeah, that is all of that. So like I say, don't forget to smash the like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. As for subscribers, I think we're very close to 1,810. Yeah, we're literally 1 away now. So big up to yourselves for that. We smashed through that 1,800 mark. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to follow me across any of my socials, obviously links to them are in the description. And yeah, subscribe to the other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra. Link to that is obviously in the description as well. And yeah, we'll go through the last load of comments. All the best for your future fixtures.
Nice one.
Thank you. Same with you. Hopefully not beating us when you play us though. That'd be nice. But big up yourself. Big up yourself, Stephen, as well. Like I say, obviously his channel is pinned. So make sure you subscribe. Game week 6, that is the one coming up, isn't it? Yeah, because obviously our fixture against Burnley counted as game week 2. So yeah, Wolves at home. Obviously we're hoping for the first load of points. So yeah, we'll see, but obviously we'll preview that later on in the week, like we said. So yeah, gonna play the intro on the way out instead of the outro today, so you lot can see it proper. So until next time, take care and peace up the town.
Go on. Oh!